Hello, 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 beauty. Welcome to another fabulous episode on the Divine Feminine Wellness Show, where I'm going to be talking all about how to cultivate your feminine intuition for an authentically aligned life. And I'm going to be sharing 3 steps with you over the next few episodes on how to do this. My question for you as a woman have you ever felt that something was inside of you guiding you, or you had a nudge or a hunch about something and you followed it and you found out you were exactly right? Or let's say you didn't follow it and you found yourself in a whole lot of trouble? Either circumstance could have happened to you. And in both cases, that nudge or feeling or inner knowing that you felt is your intuition. And so we're going to be talking all about why this is important for you as a woman so that you can live a truly aligned life. If this is your first time hearing me, my name is Oshun. I'm a divine feminine wellness practitioner, a divine feminine spiritual guide, transformational life coach, and a board certified holistic health practitioner with a mission to empower women to heal and transform their lives so that you can create the love, success, health, wealth, and abundance that you deserve in this lifetime. And so I want to talk about today's episode because in order for you to really heal and transform your life as a woman, you have to become really acquainted with your inner voice and your intuition. And oftentimes, many women feel blocked from their intuitive voice or they ignore it. And this can happen for many reasons. In my experience, I have found that the reasons why women ignore their inner voice is one, they haven't learned how to trust themselves. So they haven't built the proper confidence or self esteem to know that they can trust themselves, is one reason. Another reason why women sometimes are disconnected from their intuition has to do a lot with religious upbringing. We were often taught to honor something outside of us as holy versus understanding that we are holy from within and that our divinity is within ourselves and we can trust ourselves. Another reason why women may be cut off from the intuition is you're simply cut off from the wisdom of your body. You don't really take deep, loving care of yourself and your body and practice listening to it. And so as a result, you cut yourself off from your inner wisdom as well. So these are just a few of the reasons why sometimes we ignore our intuition, or at times we can lose out that connection to our intuitive voice, even if we had it before, because we simply stop trusting ourselves and trusting our own wisdom to know what's best for ourselves and our lives. And so, as I was saying at the onset of this video, intuition is that inner nudge, is that inner knowing. I like to call it your inner divinity. It is that part of you that is connected to a higher power that has all the wisdom that you need to cultivate a happy and joyful life. And it is always wanting you to listen and hear it. But if you cut it off, then it becomes dormant and silent. And usually what happens is you wind up living a life or having a life that isn't exactly the way you want it to be. You will feel very uncomfortable and very unhappy because that is your intuition's way, or that part of you that I say is divine, that is trying to wake you up to a new life, to try to wake you up to a new choice, to try to get you to change and course correct. Now, when you don't listen to this intuitive guidance for too long of a time, sometimes in order to get your attention, things in your life can start to go awry. You might have accidents, your health may decline. A lot of times, that's why our body's health is declining, because there's a disconnect from us listening to our inner wisdom and inner voice about the steps we need to take in our life. Like I said, you can have accidents, things in your life can go haywire, because this is an attempt for that part of you that is divine to get your attention, to pay attention to your life and course correct and move in another direction. And this is simply happening because many times you may be, I know in my experience, this has been the case when these moments have happened in my life, is because I haven't been living my truth. I haven't been showing up in the authenticity of who I really am and what I'm called to do at any given moment in time of my life at this time of my journey. And so I want you to understand that intuition is a gut feeling, but it's a guide for your life. And it comes from being connected to your own sacred divine feminine power that is within yourself, in your own divinity. And if you ever ignore it, yes, there will be circumstances in your life that will happen to get your attention. Like I said, it can happen in a multitude of ways. And so one of the first things that I want to talk about, or the first tip or secret that I'm going to share in this video on how to cultivate your intuition, is something that I practice myself, and it's something that I have my clients and students do right away when they start working with me. And that is practicing a daily devotional time. Now, a daily devotional time is a sacred time for yourself every day that you get away from the noise and the distractions of the world around you, and you sit in a quiet space and you go within and you listen. Now, cultivating this daily devotional on a daily basis, when it becomes a habit for you, will put you right in direct contact with your intuitive voice and your divine wisdom that is living inside of you, so that it can guide your life and you can hear what you need to hear in terms of what actions you need to take, or whatever it is you need to become aware of about the people, places, and things in your life, so that you live a life that is authentic and joyful. Because living a life that is less than aligned to who you really are and what you really value is an unhappy life. My whole part in teaching is to help women understand that a truly happy life is aligned to who you are and your own divine spark that is within you. And no one can tell you how that's supposed to look or how that's supposed to be. Your soul knows that already. And so you're going to have to unlearn the things you've been taught about where your true guidance comes from. It comes from within, and you have to learn how to trust yourself. So back to the daily devotional. This is something that you would do every day, and it's something that I actually do every day myself, and it's how I live every part of my life. I actually make all of my decisions based on my intuition. I actually use very little logic in my life. And I have been connected to some amazing opportunities and things that I would have never seen, because I didn't always require logic. Logic will often get in the way. I meant to speak about that, of us following our intuition. It's not that we don't need logic in our lives. Yes, we need logic because it gives us structure on how to get things done. However, logic sometimes have to be put to the side when it comes to intuition, because intuition doesn't often require logic or reason, because it's coming from a higher source that you're connected to from within. It is coming from a higher source, again, that may not necessarily be seen with the eye. And so that's why you have to learn how to trust it. And it doesn't always make sense to you, right? So sometimes when you have an experience in your life that maybe has drained you and just totally shifted your life in a way you never expected, sometimes it's for a reason beyond what you can understand. Or sometimes your intuition may nudge you to go to a certain store or a certain place, and you may run into someone that you haven't seen, and that might be just the person you need to get you on your path, right? But it all is happening because there was a divine presence guiding you. So again, I'm saying this to say that your intuition isn't often logical. It doesn't really have reason to it. And that's kind of hard for us to sometimes to understand, because it requires us to learn how to trust within ourselves and also something beyond ourselves. And as I was stating, I have lived my life pretty much at this stage in my journey following only my intuition and only listening to my inner wisdom. And so a lot of times the choices that I make or the things that I do don't make sense to people on the outside. And oftentimes it doesn't even make sense in my family. And I've often had to go against the grain a lot. But the outcomes that I have received have been nothing less than miraculous. And it's because I have developed this deep trust within myself. And it's the same thing that I want to impart to you. So, how do you get started with practicing a daily devotion, just to start getting you to trust yourself and to trust your inner voice and your intuition? So, I want you to first think about a time. Pick a time where you do this. I highly recommend first thing in the morning because your mind and nervous system are still quiet and in its receptive state. And it's in a state where you can most start to hear that wisdom and connect to that inner voice and inner wisdom that is within yourself. So pick a time early in the day or even late at night before you go to bed. Now, this is not the only time your intuition is active, but this is just for you to begin. Once you practice daily devotion of connecting with yourself and your inner wisdom, what will happen is it'll be alive with you throughout the whole day, and you'll learn how to trust it at each and every turn and corner of your life. And it's an amazing feeling when you get to that space. The next thing you want to do is after you pick your time, you want to find a sacred space in your home that you can go to at this time. So some women like to create an altar. I personally have an altar where I have my candles and my sacred cloths and my prayer books, and my sacred oils that I use to anoint myself with. So it really is a sacred ritual for me every day. And it feels really special and really warm and loving so that I can invite my intuition to speak. However, maybe that's not you. Maybe if you can go outside and take a walk early in the morning time, doesn't necessarily have to be an altar, doesn't have to necessarily be in your home. Maybe you want to go outside and be active to cultivate this inner voice. Or maybe if you have a porch or a patio, right? I know when I was in the South, the older women would sit on the porch early in the morning and sit in their rocking chair because that was their sacred space. So maybe you have a porch or a patio in your home or somewhere within your home where you can just call that your sacred space that you'll go to every day. And again, you can set up an altar to really give it conscious meaning. You can maybe not set up an altar. You can have just a candle there, right? Something there to denote that this is your sacred time and space. And after you have your time, you pick your sacred space, then this is the time when you want to start to reflect and you want to go into connecting to that wisdom and inner voice. Now, at first, it might feel a little bit different or weird or odd, especially if you're not used to it. You might start to hear all kinds of inner things within yourself. You might have images, sensations, feelings. Intuition can speak to you in a myriad of ways. I know, for example, some of the clients that I work with, intuition comes to them through their dreams and through sensations in their body. And just an inner knowing. I know for myself, my intuition speaks to me because I've been cultivating it for so long. It speaks to me throughout the day, all day long. So it comes to me through dreams. It comes to me through feelings. It comes to me through an inner voice, an inner knowing. Sometimes I see images. Sometimes it comes to me through smells. It just comes to me through all kinds of ways, in terms of how I gain my knowledge and wisdom so that I can move my life in a healthy and positive direction. But it may not come that way for you. It may come simply in the morning as just a feeling, or you may just hear an inner voice speaking to you. So just be on the aware of that when you start to have this time of reflection, that you are going to start to find out how is your intuition speaking to you. Another thing that I like to do to cultivate my intuition is I like to have prayer or divine words, right? So anything that I may be grappling with or need support with, I ask for help, right? Through to my intuition and to what I believe as my higher powers. You may be watching this and you may come from a different background. I personally follow the goddess tradition, but you may not follow the goddess tradition. Whatever faith you have, it does not matter, right? Because it is my intention for you to know that the divine streams through all of us in different ways. And so you will go to that, what you call, and you will leave your burdens there so that you can get direction on it. That is one of the strongest ways that I always see miracles and things unfold in my life to situations that may be perplexing me is because I release it to something bigger than myself through my prayer during my devotional time. Another thing you can do is you can have a journal with you in this sacred space, and you can do automatic writing or reflection about things that may be going on. And one thing I love about automatic writing, and automatic writing is when you write without thinking, you just let the words flow through you. You'd be surprised how many insights will come through you just allowing the words to flow with pencil or pen to paper, right? It's a wonderful way to start waking up that intuitive voice. That's how one of the ways I started many, many, many moons ago is I would do automatic writing early on in my journey to reclaiming my feminine power and my authentic self. I will do automatic writing. I don't do it as much anymore because I've cultivated such a strong sense of it. But I will say in the early stages, it was instrumental. I had journals with pages and pages and pages of wisdom and guidance that would just flow through me and things I needed to know for my life and what I needed to do. So automatic writing would be great for you, or just reflection. And one of the last things I recommend that you do after you've reflected, you've done some writing, is to bless your day with positive words and affirmations, because what you intend for yourself is what you will create for yourself. And so if you intend to have a positive day, to attract the positive experiences or to create positive experiences, use positive words to close out your devotional time. You may want to say affirmations, say, as today is going to be my most highly favored day. I'm going to attract blessing after blessing, miracle after miracle. Doors are opening up for me every which way I go. I fully trust in myself and my inner wisdom. I know that I am led no matter what. It is safe for me to trust and let go. It is safe for me to choose a divinely aligned, joyful life. Just words that will charge you up, because when you speak these words around you, you're going to find that you will attract more positive experiences to you. And so, this is the first step into cultivating your intuition, is practicing a daily devotion, and follow the many steps or the little tidbits of advice that I just spoke to you about how to practice daily devotion every day. And you will start to see your intuition wake up, and you will start to regain parts of yourself that may have been lost through traumatic experiences, through childhood traumas that you still may be carrying around from any aspect of yourself. We often lose ourselves and our inner voice and our intuition because of these experiences, but you can wake it back up. And it is crucial for you as a woman to wake it back up if you plan on living an authentically aligned and joyful life. There is no other way. By the way, I apologize if you can hear the machine outside. They're mowing the lawn outside. So if you hear it, I do apologize. But nonetheless, I wanted to come on here and make this video because my intuition guided me to send out this message today. So this is part one, and this is step one that you can begin to do to cultivate your intuition. And I'm going to be sharing step two on the next episode of what you can do to start cultivating your intuition and learn to trust yourself, so that as a woman, you can start to create a more harmonious and joyful life that is a true reflection of what the divine has for you, because you do not need to suffer. Suffering is not a requirement for your life to be fulfillment or fulfilled. You can choose to live a life that is full of joy and harmony. Doesn't mean it won't have challenges. Challenges do force us to grow, but you don't have to suffer. You can choose joy. You can choose a life that's passionate and that lights you up from the inside out. In fact, you'll touch more lives when you start to live from your passion and your joy. And so this was step one today. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to my channel, or follow me depending upon where you're seeing this video at, and learn to step into your divine feminine power to become the best version of yourself. And if you're a woman who wants to start becoming the best version of yourself, I also have my glow up meditation. You in the link, you can click on the link and you can get my glow up meditation to help you become the best version of yourself, and just do this meditation every day so you can start to connect to that new version of you that you're calling forth now at this time in your life. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until the next episode, have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.